What's going on, everybody? My name's Patrick, and welcome back to the Wood Barn. Today we are going to start a journey. This is going to be a multi-part series, so hit that notification button so you know when I post new videos. So what's going to happen is I'm going to build a dining room table. A friend reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you build a dining room table?" I said, "Yeah, I could build a dining room table." So this is my first dining room table. I've built cutting boards. I've built a bunch of different little things. But I mean, let's just say it's a big cutting board with legs. Anyway, I am going to be building it out of ambrosia maple. I sent her a bunch of samples of woods, and she said, "I like ambrosia maple." So I went down to Dakota Hardwoods up in Albuquerque. I am so sorry that it's so choppy. I accidentally recorded this in hyperlapse, so I had to slow it down. She wanted ambrosia maple, so I'm doing a dining room table on ambrosia maple. But I also wanted to get me a piece of this cabinet grade birch plywood, 3/4 inch, because it was half the price of Home Depot, and I need to make me a cabinet. So I picked me up a sheet of that. Because I have a really nice selection of rough cut woods and S2S wood or S1S wood. They surface the side so you could see it. And they had a lot of ambrosia maple, so I spent a lot of time picking a lot of wood that has a lot of figuring in it so we can get a really nice figure off the top of that. So looking forward to have you join me along this journey. So make sure you hit that notification button so you know when I post new videos. Like and subscribe if this is the first time ever seeing this content. Well, why don't we go ahead and start cutting up wood and start milling some wood. Let's get to it. So I got this wood over at Dakota Hardwood. They had a really great selection of ambrosia maple. They have rough cut and they have some surfaced. I think it's like S1S just because they want you to see the top. Dakota Hardwood, you got to buy the whole board. Whether if it's 10 foot, it's 10 foot. So you have to really do your math when you go to Dakota Hardwood. So I got all 8/4 because I wanted this to be a nice thick slab of a table, nice and heavy and sturdy. It took me about an hour to pick this wood because I was looking for the right wood, the right figuring, enough like personality to make a really good tabletop. So anyway, let's get doing this. All right, so what I'm doing here is just going through all the wood, finding out what sides have the best figure. I'm going to be cutting these boards in half lengthwise and then in half widthwise. So there's some figuring on one side and not the other, and some figuring on the other end of the board on one side and not the other. So just marking out which has the best grain, and then I'm marking out the middles, finding how much waste wood I could have, how much play I got. You know, these boards are a little over 10 feet, so I'm cutting them right down the middle, giving me a few extra inches on both sides for squaring things up after the table's together. What I got here is just doing some light passes because it is 8/4 wood. So if you're not familiar with how the thickness of wood, 8/4 is about 2 inches, 4/4 is 1 inch, 6/4 is 1.5 inches, and so on and so forth. So it's, you could have anywhere from 1/4 all the way to 12/4. I've seen 12/4 wood out there, which is pretty darn thick. So what I went ahead and did is I just cut it in half. Now I'm getting one side jointed so that I have a nice flat end, so I cut it right down the middle over here on the table saw. And I'm showing Avonlea how to run a board through, show her that what happens when the wood starts to pinch. Put a little shim at the end there. If you don't have a riving knife, you're going to need to use a shim. This has a riving knife, but for whatever reason it's offset and doesn't work so well, and I can't cut using the riving knife, so I got to use shims whenever the wood starts to pinch. So I lost my helper here, so I'm doing it all by myself. So I'm just getting the rest of these boards ripped down in half, and you see I'm putting a shim in because they just want to pinch right there at the end. There's still a little bit of tension in those boards. Alright, now it's time to joint one face here on all the boards. We'll get it squared up by jointing one of the edges. And then we'll plane the other face to make it parallel with the other side. And of course, one thing I didn't do here is me squaring up the board by putting it through the table saw. But I did want to get a little video of this here. This is the apron. I found some really nice figured Roman maple or ambrosia maple at Albuquerque Exotic Woods, and I just had to get it for the apron because it has got a lot of amazing figure. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but man, this stuff is gorgeous. So I decided to go ahead and just get everything squared up. One of my biggest fears is having this board or this table cup or warp. What I'm going to do, anytime you run wood like this, whenever you work it, I heard it's a good idea, even though it's already acclimated to your shot before you start working it. Once you work it, it builds up a lot of tension, so you should just let it rest again for at least a week. And so that's what I'm doing here, is I'm just clearing a spot on my wood rack so that I could go ahead and put all the wood back and just let it reacclimate. I guess it had a lot of stress whenever you work it. So that's what I'm doing here. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next part. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I post the next videos. Well, until next time, peace.